So we're getting down to the bottom of our deck builders fun that we've been having. So as I showed you before, I've already made a white blue deck right here. This is just a topper. This is not part of the deck. This is the deck. So I already have that. Same here. It's just a topper for me to define to know where the deck begins. But it's a green-black deck. Um, I have a few. I have a few white. I have white cards left over. I have some blue cards left over. I think the white cards have some okay cards in them. The blue ones are, I think they feel more like leftovers. And the black cards also, are leftover. So I have some leftover cards that were used for the previous two decks. Um, but then what I'm going to use right now, I'm going to make a red-green deck. I really want to use that creature, that red-green creature that I pulled out of one of the packs. And so I'm going to try my hardest to make a deck out of the remaining selection. So it's a red artifact selection, that creature, my leftover green cards, not from Immigration, just regular green cards from Magic, and then a bunch of artifacts that I have left over. Artifact creatures, this guy who didn't make it. So we'll see how far we get. I definitely am worried about my creature count, and in a red-green deck, you definitely don't want to worry about that. So let me start putting creatures in one pile, and then I'll worry about everything else later. So look at this guy. Okay, that's nice. I really want to use this card. So I'm not going to go too crazy on red and green. I'm actually going to try to maximize my artifacts first. Okay, so I have that. But if I want to get a really high creature count, I'm going to have to rely on my red and green cards. And I can go human because, interestingly enough, this dude is a human. Oh, here we go again. Okay, green cards. Help me, please. Human. It's a spider, so I'm actually going to say, you know what? I'm going to try to make it humans. And then whatever artifact creatures I have, I'm going to take out everything that's not a human, except, and I'm going to try to have some, I want to be stuck with some creatures that are not human, but every now and then I can use one of those human abilities. These guys are all human. Vampire, wolf, gremlin, a gremlin. I don't know. It's nice to have a dragon. And these are the non-creature spells. So those are my red-green tricks. And since they're not going to be on the battlefield, I can get my 12 non-creature spells out of here. But I want to have lots of artifacts in this deck. These guys are artifacts. The vehicles are artifacts. There we go. So these guys are going to help me have an artifact count without having to worry about creatures. I don't really want any walls in this deck, so I'm going to not use them. And neither am I going to play the self-assembler trick. Oh, this one has a blue ability, never mind. So we're done with that. Alright, so these are the artifacts, 5, and I'm actually going to maybe use one of the prophetic prisms and the Terrarian. So with the Terrarian, this deck is going to have 6 artifacts. So having that, but wait a minute, that card said other artifact creatures. This guy's out, sorry. I'm just not going to have enough. I only have 3. So now artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I like that a lot. So these are in. And then I got my creatures, my red and green creatures. These can all be taken. Yeah, so they care about artifacts, which is good. Transforms into a non-human. Again, this card just doesn't fit anywhere in here. I just don't have a lot of transforming thingies. This deck actually has a good chance of hitting Delirium because I'm going to have a low creature count. I'm going to put in my dragon. And so what's my creature count right now? 4, 8, and 12. It's a little tight. 12 and 6 artifacts puts me at 18. And I don't think I have 18 non-creature spells. 1, 2, 12, 16, 17. Oh my god. I think if I use a Prophetic Prism, I'm in. Now it's going to be very limiting. Again, we already have picked 2 whole decks out of this thing. So this is going to be very limiting. But you know what? I think if I put the Prophetic Prism in, I have a deck. I'll have a red-green Artifact Matter deck without having to compromise on putting in these 2 walls or the assemblers. I mean, can I can I do something like leave these creatures in and say, well, it's okay if I don't have a full 4, I don't like this, I'm not doing instants and sorceries. 5, 5, and 6. You know what? I actually have 6 non-human creatures, mostly red, that I can put in, and it'd be a nice little red-green deck with some artifacts. So let me think about that, because that way I don't have to have so many non-creature spells. This is a good card. This is another good card. Another good card. 5. I'll take this one out. Cone of Flame I can take out too. That's a good card. No. Out and out. Got this turn. Good, 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 and good. Doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. So let's see where we're at now. Let's just do a count of all of these cards, including Prophetic Prism. Okay. So let's do 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. I think I've got a deck. Okay, so now let's do the mana. 2, heavy, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1. Heavy. Oh, this is a 2 drop. 3. It's gonna have a lot more red than green, but that's okay. We're really at the very bottom of our barrel here, and I mean, normally you would reuse some of the cards, but we want to have the decks separate, which is kind of fun. It kind of is a way of saying, it's a way of showing how much you can do with a single deck builder's toolkit. I've already taken out 2 whole decks of cards, and I still have enough to actually make a fairly decent deck. So I think this is it. I think this is our deck. It's going to be a red-green artifacts deck, heavy on the red, but still with enough of a green presence. So it's not really, you're not really splashing for green. Okay, so it's going to have this fat butt artifact equipment. Another artifact, Terrarian, a human. You're going to control artifacts. No worry about that. You can destroy an artifact. That's not so bad either. Then something to use as a good battle trick. Uh, a nice attacking type equipment. Of course, mana fixing. Our friend Voltaic Brawler. This human feels very much at home with a bunch of other humans. A human that cares about artifacts. That's really good. You can make a hitter. You can scry, but both players get to scry. Prowess, always nice. Some energy. Energy is not a big deal in this deck, but it's there. Mulch, now called Bravo with the Past. Combat trick, draw. Hits hard, draw more, draw some more, draw some more. You're going to be discarding a little, but that's okay. Oh, is that the second Prophetic Prism? I guess we have both of them in here. That's not so bad. Or no, I'm sorry, that's where it landed. Never mind. Artifact spells, monitor, something that cares about artifacts, something for your creature count, nice battle trick. Hit something, hit a creature, hit a creature. You may even, I'm not sure if you're going to hit Delirium in here because you don't have enough enchantments, but you have some artifacts. Drop some counters, get to play with a vehicle, and our old friend Shivan Dragon. So there you have it. I'm going to put Prophetic Prism in the front, but it's going to be one of the cards in the deck. There you go. So I have 3 whole decks out of this Deck Builder's Toolkit. And these are 3 constructed decks that are separate. So that's how many cards you get out of one of these things for $20. Look at that. And we still have a bunch of leftover cards that are not bad. They just didn't fit the decks that we decided to make. We never tried like a blue-black deck. We never tried a red-white deck. So there's all these other decks that we could build. We never went all out on artifact creatures and pick them out from all these decks. So actually there's room for taking these 3 decks, undoing them, and then going back and building other pairs. So a white-black deck maybe. There's a lot to build in this product, really. I still think after 4 years of playing Magic, the Deck Builder's Toolkit is where it's at.